Hi, my name is Katie Treat and I am a high school counselor. I am currently finishing my preliminary administrative services credential, and my research proposal is for my master's in educational leadership. The area of focus for my research paper is going to be on whether interdisciplinary team teaching should be explored as a strategy to assist ninth grade students with the transition to high school. My study is also examining my students' perceptions of learning and whether or not, from their perspectives, interdisciplinary team teaching related directly or indirectly to their academic achievement. The significance of my study is going to add to the body of research about team teaching and interdisciplinary teaching and its potential impact on student achievement. My study will be particularly useful to my site, and that's because at my high school site, what we're finding right now is that the percentage of students that are in middle school that are socially promoting continues to increase every single year. So we are exploring what we can do as a site in terms of providing intervention strategies for students. It's going to be very, very useful to my administrators and to my school as a whole, because if we find within this study that it directly impacts student achievement, then we're going to be expanding upon the program. It's also going to be very useful to our high school and middle school students and their parents and guardians. My two research questions for my paper are going to be: what is the effect of team teaching on student achievement? And what are the students' perceptions of the effect on team teaching on their achievement? For my literature review, I wanted to go through a few key factors today. The research on team teaching has predominantly been focused on elementary and middle school students. So I really would like to expand upon that research, especially because I work at a very large suburban high school. And it's really important that we include ninth graders as part of that, because we're finding that across the board within our district, ninth graders are having a really difficult time transitioning in terms of their academic achievement, which makes sense that further down the road, more of our students, when they're graduating from high school, are needing to take remedial classes at the community college or at the university level. Team teaching often includes interdisciplinary teaching, which means that they're teaching between two subject areas, and it typically is used as a way of facilitating learning across those two subject areas. Co-teaching and collaborative teaching are both also commonly used and widely researched as strategies to support special education students. Middle school practices of team teaching absolutely must continue during the transitions to high school for the reasons that I previously mentioned. In terms of the methodology, this is going to be considered a mixed research study, so it's mixed method, and it's going to be using both quantitative and qualitative research. The qualitative research is going to be a survey of all the student participants, and then the quantitative will be the data that will be examined, which will be demographics of the students, their grade distributions, and their course selection of their courses for 10th grade. In terms of the next piece of my presentation, I'd really like to look at the particular subjects that are being used. At my school, we're examining the subjects that have self-selected for the Humanities Blocked program. So what that means is that they have selected to take English 9 Humanities and World Geography Humanities, and these are going to be taught in an interdisciplinary fashion. It was just implemented during the 2016-2017 school year, and so although this study would be focusing on 2016 to 17, we would like to expand it for the first 3 years of implementation so that we know whether or not we're going to continue the program or we're going to dissolve it. In terms of options for access, this particular school that's going to be studied has a very open access policy. The students that were coming into the 9th grade had 3 options to choose from for English 9 and for geography. The first option is regular English 9, and then they take health for one semester and world geography for the other semester. The second option is the humanities block, which is the focal point of this study. The humanities block consists of English 9 humanities and world geography humanities. And then the third option is that the students have the chance to choose English 9 regular and AP human geography. Some of the assumptions that might be made would be that our students that are the brightest of the bright, or the students that are the highest achieving, would have selected the AP Human Geography. But what we're finding just since starting AP Human is that that's not always the case. In terms of data collection, we are going to be looking at qualitative and quantitative data, as was previously mentioned. Qualitative data will include a survey of the students related to their perceptions and their experiences in the class. And then as the researcher, I'll be tabulating all of those responses. And then in terms of the quantitative data, it's going to include the demographics of the students, their pre and post grade distributions, and their course selections of courses for 10th grade. In terms of the methodology, we're going to be looking at demographic data, 8th grade and 9th grade comparison grades, perception data from the student questionnaires, and selection of their 10th grade courses. In terms of biases, because I'm a counselor at the site, I need to make sure that I'm looking at all of the data related to the 9th grade class. I'm also very familiar with the teachers that were selected to be teaching in the humanities block, and so I recognize that I might have biases within their favor, and so a lot of this study is going to be related strictly to the questionnaire data and to the demographic data and pre and post grade distributions that occur. The limitations of this study. So this study is going to be focusing on the initial implementation year of the program. I totally recognize that more time is going to be needed in order to examine the full impact of this program, but the primary focus of my paper is going to be on the 2016-2017 school year, with the intent that hopefully myself and everyone at my site will continue to examine these data points for at least 3 more years to come. Thank you so much, and I really look forward to working with you. Take care.